Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Vinny Motiwala. With me, Shel D'Souza as well. Shel, a very good afternoon to you as well. And today, markets have surely seen that recovery from the day's lowest point. As of now, 24,391. Not a bad level.
Absolutely. A very good afternoon to you, Vinny. Not a bad level coming in from markets, given the fact that what was exactly happening in the global markets. We actually saw a sharp decline across the globe. Even the European markets have actually opened in a weak footing. But Indian markets, there you go, is trying to actually break into the positive territory, recover sharply from the day's lowest point, trading flat with a negative bias. Right now, that's the Nifty for you. No doubt, Nifty Bank is the one that is actually underperforming the benchmark indices. But yes, you can't actually say much given the fact that Axis Bank has fallen about 6% or so, or 6.5% or so on back of his earnings. So that's also impacting Nifty Bank. You also have ICICI Bank, that is among the top loser in trade today. But talking about the list of gainers, then you have Tata Motors, ONGC, SBI Life, as well as L&T among the top gainers in trade. BPCL also seeing good gains, while Nestle, which is reacting to his numbers, Vinny will tell us in a short while from now what exactly has spooked the markets in Nestle's numbers. So Nestle is among the top losers, along with Titan, Shriram Finance, as well as ICICI Bank. So that's the way how the markets are looking like, with the metal index being the top sectoral loser and oil and gas being the top sectoral gainer, Vinny.
Absolutely, that's how the market is looking like. But let's get started with all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade on the back of news flows and technicals. And on the technical front, we do have Ashish Kyal joining in with us, while from the research team, we have Gaurav joining in with us. A very good afternoon to both of you all as well. And I will start with the first stock, and that is going to be Nestle. We've seen a very sharp fall coming in for Nestle. It's almost a 3% downtick that we're seeing in the stock today. Now, what is it that overall, when you look at the Q1 numbers, they were a sharp miss that we saw coming in terms of the numbers of the company for Q1 FY25. We were expecting a growth of 8%. The revenue growth just came in at 3.35%. In that, domestic growth was almost 4%. So the company also highlighted that the volumes were around 1/4 of what they were seeing in terms of the growth that we saw. So almost a volume growth, what we could for at would be a 1% volume growth. Inflation concern still continues. They said that, cocoa prices, coffee prices are still a concern, so we will have to watch out for that. And going forward, they are also going to be a bit more cautious on that front. There was, the summer season, harsh summer, heat waves, all of that also something was impacting Nestle's performance, as well as weak demand trends is something that is at highlight coming in. So yes, a concern coming in for Nestle in terms of numbers, not much of an excitement in terms of revenue growth, profits, or even the margins of the company, just a slight bit of an expansion that we are seeing on that front.
All right, let's shift focus then, and let's put the spotlight on shrimp-based stocks. The ones that are in focus would be Avanti Feeds or Apex Frozen Foods, or in for the matter of fact, water-based. No doubt today the counters are all seeing a decline, but over the last three trading sessions, the stocks have seen really sharp up move, approximately to 20%. If you look at it, just right after the budget, the stocks had actually seen an up move, because the shrimp farmers have been among the hottest stock trades in India this week, and this is because the government has announced proposals to help local aquaculture firms capture a bigger share of the growing global market. So on back of that, you have these counters that have seen really good trading session ever since budget has been announced. The new measures actually from the government call for additional financing for shrimp farming, processing and export, while also they've gone ahead and lowered taxes on certain feed imports. So keep all of these counters in focus. No doubt today that they are seeing some profit booking, but they seem to be a trend in the making.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on all of them. But let's move on and talk about IOCL. Ashish, on the technicals, what is the word for IOCL? Last 6 months, we've seen 21% uptick, but in the last month specifically, or last couple of months, it's remained in that range. So now, do you expect a up move from that range, which it has been in the last couple of months?
Hi, if you look at IOCL, it clearly that it has been hitting in a range, and there has been a huge move on the price and along with the volumes. So I'm optimistic that the range
back to you. Ashish, let me come back to you. We've got you in a very patchy line, so let's try and get it fixed. Remember that today we are seeing heavy downpour across the city of Mumbai. There has been red alert. Let us try and fix that line with you, Ashish, and then come back to you to get your take coming in on IOC. But let's talk about Axis Bank then, Gaurav. No doubts that this particular counter is seeing a sharp downtick on back of his earnings reaction. What exactly were the earnings print? What are brokerages saying?
Well, yes. When we talk about Axis Bank, we saw a weak numbers which came in from the bank, and apart from that, asset quality was a main concern that was raised during the quarter. So first, if we talk about the numbers, PAT actually grew only by 4%, which was below the estimates. And apart from that, when we talk about net interest margins, actually that came flat at 4.5%, but there was a one-off impact in net interest margin. So if we exclude that, brokerages believe that the net interest margins would have gone down almost by 5 to 6 basis points on a sequential basis. Apart from that, there were some concerns, and the first one is that the weak deposit growth. The deposits actually degrew almost by 1% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. That was first concern. And second one was the asset quality, because credit cost has now gone up sharply to 0.97% versus what it was at 0.3%. Now, management said that this won't be a case for the entire year, but given that the credit cost has gone up sharply, we saw some concerns raising up by brokerages. We saw some brokerages like Nomura, Nuvama actually cutting the target price. Citi even went ahead and downgraded the stock to neutral and cut the target price to 1,320 rupees. And if you look at the stock performance also, it is down almost by 6.5%. So definitely watching out on Axis Bank on what happens in a stock in coming days.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Axis Bank on the back of its numbers. But let's move on and talk about IOC then. Ashish, your view on IOC?
IOC has given a very strong breakout on the upside after a huge consolidation, and the volumes are also decent enough picked up. I think the stock is headed towards 190 or maybe higher level from here on. And on the downside, 169 is a very strong support. So looks like a good risk-reward trade at the current levels.
Right, that's the view coming in on IOC. Let's move on and talk about Tatva Chintan. This is also an earnings candidate. What we're seeing is not that great a set of numbers coming in from the company. Revenue saw an uptick of around 7% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, but profits, that's where the decline is coming in of around 45.8% versus last quarter. Now, when you're looking at it in terms of profits, it is just at 5.2 crores versus a 9.6 crores last quarter. Even now, the operational performance has been weak. When you're looking at it for the margin point of view, EBITDA margin, that's seen a contraction of almost 400 basis point. 11.9% is what the margins have come in at. So clear pressure that's come in on the stock also after the numbers. So a bit of a weakness, and the stock is down 7% almost in trade as of now.
All right, coming right back to you then, Ashish. Ipca Labs, how is this one looking on the charts to you right now? Technically, is it looking a safer bet? Because, Ipca Labs is one of the counters that once earnings come, I think the trend tends to change a bit.
Yes, if you look at Ipca Labs, I think we can clearly see the pharma sector has been the flavor, and the specific stocks has been doing very well. Ipca Lab is yet to catch up, but I think the stock can head again towards the 52-week high, which is about 1350 levels. And right now, the support for the stock is around 1220. It is bouncing back from its 20 days average also. And also, it has crossed about the 10 days average. So the overall momentum looks to be picking up on the upside for 1350 as the target.
Okay. Keep an eye out on those levels over there for Ipca Labs. But on that note, we're going to sip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with more stocks after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. Keeping it going with all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade. We have JK Paper that's also in focus on the back of a weak set of numbers that the company reported. We're seeing the revenue seeing a growth only of around 4.5% this time. And this is what we're comparing on a year-on-year basis. The stock is as of now down 7% in trade. Obviously, we're seeing pressure coming in on the profits of the company. That's where the sharper decline came in of around 55% profit. Net profit of the company just came in at around 140 crores versus 312 crores. So yes, obviously we are seeing a fall in the share price of the company because of the fall in the profits of the company, which have halved versus the last year that we were seeing. EBITDA also, we're seeing that 41% decline came in the EBITDA performance, coming just at 280 crores versus last year. So yes, the company said that it increases sale volume this quarter through higher utilization, but clearly the numbers are not anything exciting, and the stock is down 7.5%.
All right, just before we move on to the next stock that Ashish has for us, let's just quickly take a note of the flashes on the bottom of your screen, because you have source-based information coming in from our agency that Andhra Pradesh is to resume procurement of liquor from top companies and brands. Remember that the state had actually stopped buying liquor from top brands and companies in the year 2019. So after that, looks like they are going to open up to buying actually liquor from these companies. So they may resume procurement of beer from United Breweries. So keep an eye out on what United Breweries is doing at this point in time. They will look to buy liquor from United Spirits, from Radico Khaitan, from Globus Spirits. Apart from that, also Tilak Nagar Industries and GM Breweries. So keep an eye out on all of these counters, given the fact that a state like Andhra Pradesh is going to look to resume a procurement of liquor and beer from these companies. It may bode well from all of these companies, impact their revenues and sales as well. The Andhra Pradesh government is likely to announce new liquor policy soon as well. So that's one of the reasons why keep an eye out on not just these two counters, as well as Radico Khaitan. You have Global Spirits, Tilak Nagar Industries, as well as GM Brewery. So hopefully things may go much better for these companies going ahead, Vinny.
Absolutely. Surely keeping an eye out on all these liquor stocks today, and we're watching out for more information that will come in on this front. But on that note, let's actually talk about an IPO that will be coming up soon. We do have Akums Drug, which is going to be coming out with an IPO. We do have Sandeep Jain, the MD of the company, as well as Sumit Sood, the CFO of the company, joining in with us right now. Sandeep, Sumit, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining in with us. This is your first interaction with us. So could you just start by talking to us about the company? What are your plans in terms of the fund utilization that you are planning that you all will raise from the IPO?
First of all, thank you very much for calling us on this interview. We are very much delighted to be in front of you. Our company is a CDMO player company. We are mostly into CDMO player. We are the largest CDMO player of the country. We are the largest pharmaceutical formulation manufacturer of the country, and we are the second largest in terms of client we serve. As far as globe is concerned, we are the 25th largest CDMO player in the globe. We do have a marketing division with us as well. We are into exports. We are into API as well. They are into all verticals of all this formulation businesses. In general, we are making 18,000 SKUs, which is the largest number of SKUs in the world. As far as the amount is concerned, Sumit.
So, there is a primary raise of 680 crores that the company is raising through the IPO. We are going to use this for repaying of our debts. Almost 357 would go to repay our debts, and the other would be for general corporate purposes. You also wanted to know that how much would be the debt. I think once we have this money with us, the company would not have any debt, because our net debt today is around 221 crores.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. If you could talk to us post the repayment or repayment of the debt, do you think that there is going to be any financial obligations that will be left on the books? What sort of a picture that we can see financially on your balance sheet front post this IPO?
So as I said, that once we pay. The total debt on the company is 440 crores, right? So and the net debt is 220. So once we have our primary proceeds, we will probably have no debt on the book at all, and we'll probably have some money for our general corporate purposes and working capital requirement.
And we are always there into expansion mode as well. We are planning to put few more plants whenever it will be required. Maybe that money will be required there as well.
Mm-hmm. Sumit, also you could talk to us about the company's plan in terms of your expansion of the production capacity with 2 additional production units, especially for the CDMO business. Could you talk to us a bit more about that? Also in terms of the existing capacity, how will that also be supported, and what do you see in terms of numbers going forward?
Presently we are our capacity is too high, and we are presently utilizing around 40% of the total capacities of our total plants. Out of that, one plant which is there in Baddi, we have not yet leveraged the capacity of that plant. One plant which is of injectable plant which is yet to be commercialized very soon. we have not yet leveraged the capacity of that plant as well. Means the capacity is going to be very high again, and we can any time come up with the 60% of the total utilization of the products, because we do have lot many say SKUs, then lot many products are there. We are manufacturing more than 4,000 different kind of products with 18,000 SKUs and 1,500 different clients. That's why our manufacturing system is very complex, but we can always go for 60%. Then 2 more plants are yet to be operational very soon.
Right. So while you're talking about the capacity, the expansion, and with these new capacity getting commissioned, can we expect some impact to come in on the margins? Will there be some sort of a blip? What sort of an impact will we see on your financial post this particular capacity getting commissioned?
No, the margins are not going to be low, because say as we are into development of so many products year on year. We are always a development R&D focused company. We always make sure that all new doses forms come into the production. Like last year we are there with nasal spray. Now we are coming up with the say lyophilized injection. We are building all new dosage forms with higher margins, and we have filed so many patented the products which are going to be off patented across the world. Then DCGI approvals are there which are in pipelines. So many products are there in pipelines which are going to give us the greater margins. And we have expanded 2 of our units for European GMP as well. When we go for European market or some regulated market, we will be in a position to get more margins. It is not like a question of going down. It is a question of making more margins actually.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in with us on Market Fatafat, as well as giving us an insight in terms of the company's IPO that will be opening on 30th of July and will go on till 1st of August and will be open for subscription. A total issue size of 1,856 crores. But let's move on to the next stock that's in focus, and RBL Bank. That's the one we are keeping an eye out on today. RBL Bank is in focus after they had a change of hands of around 7.9% equity change of hands that we've seen coming in for RBL Bank. Now, obviously, according to sources and reports, we had understood that the seller of the shares. We did have the names of the seller of the shares coming in, and it was barring PE, which we understood was going to sell the shares. So yes, 7.8% change of hands that has happened. We'll wait out for the buyers of the share. Keep an eye on this one today. RBL Bank trading with cuts of almost 4%, day's lowest point.
All right, that is RBL Bank under pressure on back of that block deal, a sizable one that is. And Ashish, let's talk about GAIL. But how is this one looking on the charts to you? Attractive, do you think now?
Yes, if you look at the overall energy space, that has been buzzing around. Whether you look at GAIL, IOC, and all of those stocks has been buzzing. And GAIL has also showed a very smart recovery from the lows of 210 seen 2 days back. And it is now about to cross that 10 days average as well. So the overall trend for GAIL is positive. We can expect it to reach towards the level of 245 on the upside. And one can maintain a stop loss of around 220 levels.
Right, that's all about coming in about GAIL, but let's talk about some of the numbers that have actually come in a short while ago. Let's take a look at what LT Foods is doing actually in trade today, because LT Food actually announced a number where the profits saw an uptick of about 11.4% on a year-on-year basis. The PAT came in at around 153 crore rupees. The revenue stood at around 2,071 crore rupees, an uptick of about 16% or so. The EBITDA margin, however, saw a mild dip, 11.6% versus 12%, while the EBITDA also an uptick. So LT Foods today reacting to its number, though no doubt in the last 3 months the stock has seen a very sizable uptick of about 35% or so. But one of the reasons why the stock has also seen that uptick is the fact that there are a lot of news flows surrounding the rice procurement, the export policy. So on back of that, also you have LT Foods that's been in news of late, Vinny.
Absolutely, surely we are keeping an eye out on LT Foods over there. But Ashish, the next stock that you've picked out for us is Petronet. What's the word on the technicals for Petronet?
See, if you look at Petronet, it's trading at 52-week high. There doesn't look to be any hurdle on the upside for the stock to move towards the level of around 380. So the upside looks clear, and also we can see that the stock has possibly started the third wave, which can be a very strong wave. So we can expect a 380 or 390 levels on the upside as the target for the stock, and the support for the stock is near the low of around 349.
That's about Petronet LNG. Let me just actually go back to the news that was flashing on your screen a short while ago on that Andhra Pradesh source-based news that the Andhra Pradesh will be resuming procurement of liquor from top companies and brands. It's very key to note the fact that the Andhra Pradesh state had actually stopped buying liquor from top companies and brands in 2019. This now the state is likely to go ahead and announce a new liquor policy soon, and they will also replace the local brands with trusted popular ones. And some of the names that they are going to look at, one of them is from procuring from United Spirits, the other one from Radico Khaitan. You also have Global Spirits is what they may mull buying liquor from. Tilak Nagar Industries, GM Breweries are the other set of names. Also, they may look to procure beer from United Breweries. And remember that all of these Indian companies have made sizable mark, not only domestically but as well as globally, Vinny. So this one is going to be a big move coming in for companies like Radico Khaitan. In fact, talking about Radico Khaitan, we have Mr. Amar Singh, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Radico Khaitan, joining us on the show. Amar Sinha. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's Amar Sinha who's joining us on the show right now. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And we're picking up news from source-based news from Wire Agency that the state of Andhra Pradesh will look to resume procurement of liquor from top companies and brands. Have they reached out to you by any chance with this regard?
So first of all, thank you for having me with you on this show. See, it's a fact that the Chandrababu Naidu government is a progressive government and wants to have a level playing field for all players in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Obviously, the liquor and spirits business in Andhra Pradesh is a big revenue earner, and so they value this business. And I think they have reached out to all the top companies, including us. And yes, we will be supplying stocks to the state as per their requirement. Today, we are selling stocks through our bottlers on royalty basis in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And let's see what the new policy which is about to be announced offers. And based on that, we may have to modify, the terms of doing business. But yes, we are certainly with the state government in terms of supplying, and most companies will do that as well.
Mr. Sinha, this is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. One, you said that you will be delivering stocks as per their requirements. So anything that you have a suggestion that on that front, that what is it going to be in terms of quantum over there, and especially in terms of how big is the market for the company or in the industry way? What is it that you're looking at in terms of revenue from here?
So let me tell you, I think Andhra is a big liquor market. And you sell stocks in excess of 3 million cases a month. So let me tell you, I'm talking about the spirits business. And of course, this progressive policy, I am foreseeing that the state's business will grow, because what we expect is that the new government will ensure that the pricing has a parity with surrounding states. The suppliers also get the right kind of price for supplying, and the credit terms are such that you don't get inconvenienced with supplies. So I think everything depends upon the new policy, and I'm very hopeful that this government is going to tie up all the loose ends, and this business is going to boom in Andhra Pradesh.
Mr. Sinha, just to probe a bit more, so what kind of inquiries have come in from the state of Andhra Pradesh? Are they more tilted also towards your premium products and premium brands as well? And also wanted to know that any indication of what led to the change in the stance by the government? You did allude to the fact that you have now the present government being a more progressive one.
So let me tell you, the present government in place wants to promote premium brands, because across the country the sales of premium brands is growing at a double-digit rate, and if this happens, if they promote premium brands, most foreign companies and Indian companies will get a level playing field, and it will benefit the state.
Right, Mr. Sinha, just a word more on it that, what I want to know is also in terms of revenue upside, right? 3 million cases a month is what you're talking about over there. So what would it add in terms for your revenue of the company, and how much more upside could we expect then from the state of Andhra Pradesh and overall for the company benefit?
See, I'll tell you what. As far as we are concerned, we supply on royalty. Okay, it is the local bottlers who manufacture and sell brands of Radico. So we get only our brand contribution from them, the brand surplus. So basically, turnover is not something that I would like to quote on from that, but I see the market growing by at least 20% plus.
We expect the market growing by about at least 20% plus. Just one quick question, Mr. Sinha. Wanted to know by when do you expect this policy to kick in? From when do you intend to start supplying to the state of Andhra Pradesh? Anything on their when they are likely to go ahead with this liquor policy?
So, see, we are hoping that in the next 3 to 4 weeks, the new policy will be fully in place and it will get executed. Because after all, the revenue that the state is going to earn from liquor is huge, and they won't like to waste a lot of time on this.
Okay, so it will be soon. They won't like to waste much time on it, is what you're saying, Mr. Sinha. But thank you so much for joining in with us and giving us all the insights coming in, and especially for the company as well as in the state of Andhra Pradesh that has surely allowed in terms of liquor. They not allowed, but saw stories that are saying that they will be looking to buy liquor from all these companies. So Radico Khaitan being a part of that. Thank you so much, Mr. Sinha, for joining in with us.
In fact, we have Mr. Sinha actually confirming the fact that the state has actually approached the company. So watch out for that entire space, especially the liquor space and the companies that will or rather talks with the Andhra Pradesh government. But with that, we're totally out of time on this edition of Fatafat. Thank you so much, Ashish, as well as Gaurav, for joining us on the show. And it's a goodbye from Vinny, myself, and the team that put the show together. Thank you so much for watching.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.